Yeah, what is good, everybody, at NFLs all around the world, and who is watching? Welcome to the NFL 2022 team rankings. So the idea, I know as you look at the thumbnail, yes, I did add the all 32 teams because I couldn't fit them on the thumbnail, but the way this is going to work is where the teams stand going in, because right now we're halfway through the season. We're going in, most teams are entering week 8. Some are coming off a bye week. Like me and Tyler discussed before we got started, we want to see where these teams are, if they're going to be a Super Bowl contender, a playoff contender, who are the surprising teams this year, who are the below average teams are, or who's in the quote unquote tank bowl. But what up, RQ? Well, let's get started. So first things, hopefully there we go. The first team I want to kind of talk about is the Arizona Cardinals. Now, their season has been, I wouldn't say terrible, but it's been inconsistent, if that makes sense. Knowing that the fact that Kyler Murray is still decent, but like the entire side of this too, it's just like, Kyler just has not been the same, since last year?
Like I said, ever since that playoff game when he had that blunder, I feel like his confidence got shot. And he's making poor decisions at times. He's been playing decent ball, like you said, but at times he's made poor decisions, which costed them games. And that's why they're 3-4.
So for me, I'm going to. I don't think they're below average. I'm going to put in the below average category because I think that.
Yeah, that's the.
I mean, that's just being fair. Like, they're not super terrible, but they could have been a lot better than what the record showed, because they got really good talent on that defense, though. That's the issue.
Yeah, the offense, got tremendous talent on that defensive side of the ball. The offense is what's killing them.
I mean, the only good talent you ever have on offense is when you got Marquise Hollywood Brown. You also had
back.
You also brought in Robbie Anderson.
And they're still not doing anything.
Yo, what up, Steve?
Shout
out to Coach Dante coming into the building. Shout out to the.
What's up, Dante?
Next is the Atlanta Falcons. For me,
I will put them at surprising.
Yeah, I could agree more, because you really think about it. Yes, despite getting their ass whooped, Cincinnati, yes, because that's probably one of the better teams that they played this year. It's shocking of how really good they're surprising that they truly are, because. And Tyler, I know you can agree with me too, because I thought they would start out, 0-1 was it 1 in? I think at the time, 1-4.
You told me you thought that they would start off 0-5.
That's what I would thought, because this team's still rebuilding. Because you lost Calvin Ridley for the year, you don't have Cordell Patterson.
Matt Ryan, you replace him with Marcus Mariota, who's not that good, but he's playing pretty well.
That's shocking.
He played pretty well, which is the two quarterbacks that shocked me is Geno Smith and Marcus Mariota.
Like, you never expect
two quarterbacks.
And not to mention, the only issue where I would see this team may not be a playoff contender, and that's why they're surprising, is their defense. Their defense is god awful, because they do not have anybody. Because I think Grady Jarrett has to get out of there, because you're wasting. I think Grady Jarrett's probably one of the better talents that they have on that defense in their defense. But good Lord, it's just god awful. And Falcons fans, I am being brutally honest, your defense is god awful.
Mm-hmm.
Baltimore, I think this is easy. They're a playoff contender, but where I feel like they're going to falter, like me and Tyler kind of talked about, is their fourth quarter. Their fourth quarter issues.
That's the key. That is the key to this. In order for them to be true playoff contenders, running the table, they need to stop blowing fourth quarter leads. That's why they started the season at 3-3. They were blowing leads, and then they were just,
especially if you're up 3 scores, and
you're up in multiple on multiple games that they lost. They were up by 2 or more scores,
and for some reason,
and then they just faltered in that fourth quarter, and every single time they lost.
And their defense has been inconsistent, because they play well. And this is someone brought up a good point. This too, their defense plays well in the first half, but when it comes to the second half, they're nowhere. It's like, where's Waldo with them? That's the reason. Yeah. And you almost lose to the fucking Cleveland Browns at the same time.
Yeah, you almost lose to the Cleveland Browns, who were 2-5, or at that time they were 2-4, 2-5 at that time. I think, I'm not sure, but
Greg and John, shout out to the Hardcore Sports Network as well. at the
Yeah,
same
we were
time.
on the Hardcore Sports Network now. Mitch asked us, and we were like, "Yeah, we'll hop on."
But next team,
So
I think this is an easy pick. That's the Buffalo. Damn it, wrong button on my mouse. The Super Bowl Bills are Super Bowl contenders.
yeah,
Let's be real. I mean,
no doubt in my mind that the Bills are Super Bowl contenders. No doubt.
despite for a franchise that's been around for a while, but unfortunately had the most shit luck when it comes to the. Yes, I mean, who ever thought a team would lose had four multiple back-to-back Super Bowl appearances and loses four straight in the 90s? Like
you had an amazing quarterback that time in Jim Kelly, and you messed it up 4 times in a row.
I think that's mostly on the kicker. I mean, I think the last Super Bowl they've been in, they could have won
every single time. Every single time, it was either a game-winning kick or they got blown out by the Cowboys.
Yeah,
that one time. Like
Carolina Panthers, exactly. We know where they're sitting, and that's the Tank Bowl.
They're tanking.
It's Good Lord, they're just so god awful. PJ Walker, though, I mean, I thought I think he could be a bright spot because Baker Mayfield's absolute ass.
Baker Mayfield, I don't know what happened. He had that one great season, and then he just fell.
It just floundered. And, I mean, your age got rid of Robbie Anderson. I'm surprised if they move on from DJ Moore because let's be real, DJ Moore deserves a lot better than what the Carolina Panthers are offering. Because that team is just.
And I love how State Farm is like, they gave him an endorsement after that one season, and like after that, we'll give it back to Patrick Mahomes. Because Baker, you suck.
And that's the point too. How the fuck does that happen? How do they beat the Bucs? But then again,
it's because Tom Brady plays like dog water.
Not to mention, too, they don't have a secondary. Their O-line is absolute ass.
You have a receiving core that drops passes. We've been there before, but yeah, you have a receiving core that drops passes. You have a quarterback who's been throwing very poorly the last few weeks.
It's crazy. Because, like I said, I mean, I didn't really put this on record, but I'm predicting the Carolina Panthers will go 2-15 or 3-14 at the most, or
4-2-15. I feel like them winning to the Bucs was a big mistake.
That was kind of a fluke.
It was because the only reason why I don't even think they were even trying to win that game. It was just that Tom Brady and that entire Buccaneers team played like absolute crap.
And that's a very good point. That the Panthers almost ran 200 yards. The Bucs run defense is absolute trash.
Their run defense is terrible.
And it's a shame too, man. It's like
pass defense is all right, but their run defense sucks.
Oof, yeah.
Their quarterback is washed. The receivers can't catch. Everything's going wrong.
Not just that, too. You also got Chris Godwin who can't stay the fuck healthy. That's
Chris
always
Godwin's out.
I mean, you've got Mike Evans. I mean, how often
Mike Evans is dropping passes all of a sudden,
which is unlike him because he's their number one guy.
It is, and he was a baller for the last.
I think he also had a Pro Bowl season last year, if I'm not mistaken.
He was a Pro Bowler last year.
How do you?
And he played like a Pro Bowl level wide receiver for the last few seasons, even before Brady even got there. Yeah, when they had Jameis Winston.
Yeah,
he was still playing like a Pro Bowl guy.
It's a shame to see. Well, then again, and even football fans too, is like we know that Brady's is really ruining his legacy. At that point, you should just.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. He's ruining his marriage. He's ruining his legacy. He's ruining everything. Like, come on, man.
And like this, I mean, it's just like even though the NFC South is not one of the greatest divisions in football, I mean, like I said, the fact that the Falcons are second in the NFC South is shocking to me. That is surprising.
Yeah.
But Chicago, Ghoulie, I'm sorry, but your team is below average. I don't think they're that terrible to be a tank bowl.
No, they're not that terrible. The problem is they don't have an O-line to help with Justin Fields yet. They need to get an O-line.
And not to mention, you're going to have over 100. God, if we had Ghoulie on here, he'll tell you too. Like this Bears team is going to have over $100 million in cap space. If you don't spend any of that, you're screwed. Get it on an O-line because we seen. I mean, we looked at some of the games that we seen the Bears play. Justin Fields, I felt, man, that kid's ribs. The dude's taking a shot to the ribs.
The dude's running backwards. instead of running left to right, because they're not allowing him to run left or right because the line sucks so bad. They're bum rushing the line. They're right at him. He has no choice but to run backwards.
Yeah, we'll get to the Seahawks later. The Cincinnati Bengals, I think they're going to be a playoff contender, but I don't think they're just not there. I think they kind of took a bit of a step back this year in terms of the O-line just for some reason it's been inconsistent.
It's been notoriously bad ever since. I feel like they're on that fringe between playoff contender and Super Bowl because I think Joe Burrow has the ability to carry this team again to the Super Bowl.
But it's just the O-line for me.
It's just
you got a good wide receiver core in T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, and Jamar Chase. That's
the reason why. Even despite that line, they're kind of fringe of like playoff contender and Super Bowl. You don't know what team you're going to get in the playoffs.
It's like a box, or if you want to make a Forrest Gump reference, it's like a box of chocolates. And like I said, don't know what you're going to get out of this Bengals team because, like I said, I mean, you got a good wide receiving core, you got a good running back room.
But with the O-line, you don't know what team you're going to get in the playoffs. Are you going to get a team from last year who ran the table, went to the Super Bowl?
What up, Key?
I just don't know. What's up, Key? How you doing?
But it's just, I would be shocked if they even somehow make a run to the Super Bowl. I would be shocked if they did, especially with the notorious bad O-line.
Yeah.
Next below average team for me is the Cleveland Browns. Let's be real. The fact that you traded King's ransom for fucking Deshaun Watson, and it's definitely showing that, Jacoby Brissett is good, but he's not.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like the Browns, the quarterbacks, they just have bad luck every single year. You thought the tide was going to turn when the Browns made the playoffs in 2020. You thought the tide was going to turn. I thought the tide was going to turn. I was stupid.
I think we all did.
Everybody was fooled. Everyone was fooled. Even Cleveland fans were fooled. Everybody was fooled because we thought Baker Mayfield was their guy when he drove them to the playoffs. He reminded me of the guy who made them go to the playoffs at 9-7 in 2007. Now he had that one fluke year, and then he failed.
Yeah, just floundered. Not to mention, too, you got a good defense led by Myles Garrett. I mean, good lord. I mean, we know they got a decent O line. I mean, they got a good running game with Nick Chubb.
You know who they remind me of? Do you know who they remind me of?
What's that?
The Broncos.
Oh, we'll get to the Broncos because good lord,
a really good defense, but a terrible quarterback room, terrible offense. Nothing to write home about.
I'm guessing you're saying the 2015 Denver Broncos when they had Peyton Manning, but they had
No, I'm talking about after Peyton. They had no quarterback. Even now, they have a great.
That makes sense.
They have a great defense, but no quarterback. Yes, they got Russell Wilson, but Russell Wilson hasn't been the same guy he was in Seattle. Let's face it. But they went through guys like Drew Lock.
You got Geno Smith
for
now.
For some reason, Brock Osweiler.
Oh God! Don't forget too. They also had James Paxton Lynch, and he was a complete fucking bust. And he was during the USFL. He was just a bench warmer.
Every quarterback they got in the draft
was a bust.
And that's what I think of the Cleveland Browns. They're the equivalent.
Because
every quarterback that they've had was a bust. Even Baker Mayfield, a bust.
And actually, that's to your point too, Tyler. The Denver Broncos really had a solid franchise quarterback since the days of John Elway. If you really think about it, because remember, after John,
what you mean the Broncos?
I forgot. Oh God damn! I forgot about Tim. Oh no! Don't bring his name up.
Don't bring his name up. He was even
Trevor Samuel was complete ass.
That's why he couldn't even get out of precinct. He was trash for us.
I forgot about Orton.
Good
lord! They've been so many through different quarterbacks. It's not even funny.
They've been even before Peyton. They were just cycling through quarterbacks.
It's shocking.
Peyton Manning was just a Band-Aid to fix that team for a bit.
But since he retired, it still has not been. Yikes.
Hey, Broncos fans, do you still think John Elway's a godsend in the executive room?
Steve G. he is all things Denver, and he loves the Denver Broncos. And, hello, God,
That's what we're
that's
saying.
obvious.
Their defense is good. Their defense is good.
But the
I have
offense,
nothing
good
to
lord.
The offense has been terrible, and I will blame it like you said, 50-50 on Hackett and Wilson. Wilson, he plays like he's blind. He can't see an open guy. He throws it to double coverage.
No, and remember
Hackett can't call plays. He's a hack.
Yeah,
In his
well,
name. It's in his name. Hack. He's a hack.
But I would say this too, and remember too, when it comes to the 2-minute drill, Russell, like I said, Russell Wilson does not know what a 2-minute drill is.
How are you a quarterback? How are you a quarterback?
And you don't know what
a 2-minute drill is.
Like
it comes to the coach, dude. The coach doesn't even know what a 2-minute drill is either.
Like
both guys.
If I'm and I really should duly feel bad for Denver Broncos fans out there. I really do. The fact that you had to deal with this shit is ridiculous.
Yeah. No. And let's skip over to Cowboys and let's rate the Denver Broncos as we're talking about them.
They're good. They're in the tank bowl category.
They're tanking. I don't care what anybody says. Russell Wilson.
I mean, we see
he will not be better until they get a coach that accommodates him as a player, his skills. This Hackett guy is a hack. He doesn't know what he's doing.
Like, can we stop talking? Yeah, I trust me. We've had one of those years when it's so freaking depressing.
We had those years. Remember Chip Kelly? Yeah.
Oh, don't remind me.
Don't remind me either. I had to mention it since you brought it up. But yeah, we had a hack of a coach too.
But at this point, man, if you can't find the right coach, and the fact, and let's be real, I think you very overpaid for Russell Wilson because the dude has not been the same in the last couple of years.
Here's the thing: you can also stem that from coaching because he was good last year.
Oh yeah,
he didn't have a team. This time he has a team. He's not playing well, but it comes to the play calling and the coaching. Because they're using him as a pocket passer. He's not a pocket passer.
No, and
he runs around until he sees somebody open and then throws.
I mean, see, this is why I think the Broncos need to get a coach that can, fit with the skill set. I mean, look at the Bears. I mean, look at Justin. Yes, I mean, Justin Fields is a different situation, but in some games, I mean, we've seen this kid has success when some coaches implement plays that's applies to his skill and his strengths. And who would have thought the Bears would kick the crap? Who would have thought the Bears would kick?
Go ahead.
I was want to say, who would have ever thought the Bears would kick the crap out of the Patriots? Yes, I get it. The Patriots are bad, but the fact you drop almost 3 scores on top.
That's because the coach implemented a game plan that fit Justin Fields. You got to implement a game plan that fits these quarterbacks.
I mean,
But when you're not doing that, the team is not going to win. And that quarterback that you're trying to, help out and coach, you're not helping him out, and he's going to play bad.
It is crazy. But, yeah, so we got so far. The obvious is the Buffalo Bills. We know how good they are when it comes to the I mean, the fact that getting involved, I mean, having Von Miller, though, on the head is scary. That is scary.
Yeah,
I'm trying to think. Who else did they pick? They also picked up Xavier Rhodes. Very underrated player.
Very good player.
Oh, good player. And Micah Hyde, man, I feel bad for that guy. God damn. What multiple? But Cowboys.
Next team up. They're playoff contenders.
But
I like what I see with their defense. Their defense is really good. Their linebacking core is really good. Heck, even their cornerback core is pretty good.
Which is shocking to say.
Which is shocking. Their defense is really stout. I got to give them that. I mean,
that's Dan Quinn.
Their offense is only good when they have Dak Prescott out there, but it's not at fault of
Dak
the receivers or the offense. And they don't have the depth behind Dak Prescott. They don't.
Because you really think about it, if you looked at last year, they had Amari Cooper, Michael Gallup, CeeDee Lamb, Cedric Wilson. When we lost Amari Cooper,
but you got to think too, they don't have a bad receiving core still. They don't.
No,
they wouldn't be. They wouldn't be where they are now at 5-2 if they didn't have a good receiving core. If they didn't have a good offense, they do have a good offense, but only when Dak is out there.
Not
Yes,
just
they went
that,
4-1 with
it's your,
they hold on. Yes, they went 4-1 with a backup. What a backup quarterback in Cooper Rush. That was only because he was playing against scrubs. Then it got to us. He got exposed
yeah.
for what
I
he
mean,
was. He's just a backup quarterback. And with Dak, I feel like y'all are exponentially better. That's what I think. But y'all
even
aren't Super
though
Bowl contenders like you're saying. You guys are playoff contenders.
because I feel like there some I don't know which team Cowboys might face in the postseason, because if they find someone that's good, that has been in the postseason more times than not, yeah, good luck with that. And like I said, me and Tyler are throwing bias out the window, but we're just going based on what we saw, and we're basing off this also
Here's
last year.
here's what I see with every time that Dak Prescott went to the playoffs, right? For me, Dak Prescott and the Cowboys tend to get panicky. They're not playing calm. They're not playing collected. They're not playing with each other. They're playing panicky. And they get even more panicky when they play from behind in playoff situations.
Mm-hmm.
If they stop playing panicky and they ball the heck out in the playoffs, they're Super Bowl contenders. Who's to say that they're not going to beat us and go to Super Bowl?
And that's a very good point. And yeah, Arku, that's what we're saying. Like, they're playing with their tails tucked between their legs.
Yeah, and that's why I don't trust them in the playoffs, because every time they're in the playoffs, they play from behind. They play panicky. They play scared.
Well, and then not to mention, you guys got Mike McCarthy as your head coach, and we hear in the realistic Cowboys fans do not like Kellen Moore, how he calls the offensive plays.
Kellen Moore as an offensive coordinator is so bad, and I've seen it before in the games.
I mean,
I saw it last week during our bye. Like, they didn't play too well. They eked out a win, but Kellen Moore's most of the time calls boneheaded plays.
Yeah, and shit. If you look good, I mean, it's almost. I mean, shit. Even though they're 4-2, who's to say, man? He should have called some
5-2.
5-2. My apologies, but they should. I mean, Kellen Moore could have cost him a lot more games with the way he's calling plays. Like, I think Dan Quinn, is really good. Surprisingly, is really good as a defensive coordinator.
He is. He's a solid defensive coordinator. I like Dan Quinn as a defensive coordinator.
And see, like we said, going back to last year, if you did not play scared against the 49ers, they had an opportunity to win that game. But it all came down to poor clock management, Kellen Moore, and Mike McCarthy. You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to, like, I know there's going to be Cowboys fans out there looking at this. Like, we're just throwing the bias.
You're just an Eagles fan. You're biased Eagles fan. No, we're throwing bias aside here. We're looking at it through the eye test, through the lens here.
I mean,
we're not looking at it as Eagles fans. If we were looking at it through Eagles fans, we were thinking, oh, y'all are going to tank the rest of the season. I feel like you guys
got too much talent to fucking tank.
Too much talent on that field. Both sides of the ball. Y'all play very well. It's just that we don't trust you guys in the playoffs to win a playoff game, because you guys play panicky, and plus Kellen Moore with his boneheaded play calls. That's the thing. If you guys would stop playing panicky and Kellen Moore can call the right plays, y'all could win in the playoffs. But they just play too panicky.
It's just
too panicky.
It's just, for me, it's just like, at this point, I mean, and we know what the Cowboys fans don't like the Jones family. I mean, we obviously can see how much people in the NFL world hates the Jones family at all, because their decision making is absolute fucking horrible.
Haven't been good decision making since.
But there's some of the players that the Jerry Jones has drafted have really shown, like, that has some potential. I mean,
Micah Parsons for sure has potential.
Well, who knows? That kid's going to get better each and every year. So I mean, you got Tyler Smith, who's their starting left tackle. Let's be real. I think he's going to have a much higher ceiling, because Tyron Smith just needs to hang it up, because the dude is like another. And unfortunately, you had two aging left tackles, and Peters and Tyron Smith. Let those two just hang it up. Let's be real.
Yeah, just hang it up, you guys. You guys are old. Y'all guys are washed. Just hang it up.
Because, I mean, from what I saw from Tyler Smith as a left tackle, I mean, the kid just is, and I kind of wish I had Doug on too. I mean, because Doug actually has said it many times, like, he likes his. I mean, they got some really. I mean, look, at face value from what we saw in the draft of what the Cowboys done, is like, it didn't look like they actually had. It looked like it didn't seem really that good of of drafting. But when we looked at it so far this season, apparently it's starting to work out, which is shocking. But it's just like no, it's just like Tyler said, no, the lack of depth at times is what at times it was going to cost the Cowboys sometimes. It's going to cost.
The thing is, the only depth issue that I have is at quarterback, though.
Mhm.
That's the thing. That's the only problem that I have is that if Dak goes down permanently for the rest of the season, they're screwed. But if Dak stays healthy for the rest of the season, they're good.
I mean,
They're fine.
We saw the. I mean, shit. I mean, he's not the comeback player for a reason. Yeah, which is a shame, though.
Mm-hmm.
But the next tank bowl team for me, Detroit. Detroit.
This one just makes me sad.
It's sad
because I expected this team to be way better than what they were this year.
But apparently,
the way this team plays with a lot of heart, the way Dan Campbell coaches with a lot of heart. I don't know. It's Jared Goff. It's Jared Goff. That's the issue. It's Jared Goff.
Because I can see
Jared Goff is just too bad of a quarterback.
And they
need to cut their losses with the guy draft a quarterback who's good. And
I mean, shit. I mean, your guy, and this is why I anyone said this too. I think I see why the Rams got rid of his ass from Matthew Stafford because they knew how bad he.
They didn't even blink an eye. They didn't even hesitate.
Yeah,
as soon as that trade was even on paper.
Yeah, I mean,
and they got the call. Yes.
Even though it was a blockbuster news at the time. I mean, look, Jared Goff, he's going to be like this, like another Josh Rosen type of guy. I mean, just be that for another first round bust at this point. I mean, we already knew that
at this rate, his good days are past him.
I mean,
yeah, he had some good days in L.A. led them to a Super Bowl, but he didn't win it.
One of the worst Super Bowls in NFL history.
Oh my gosh! I don't remind me of how bad that Super Bowl was, but here's the thing. He had his good days in the Rams, which is why the Detroit Lions did want him. But the team, he's not good. He's just not that good. And to lead his own team like this, the only reason why he won as much as he did for the Rams is because he had a team around him. He had a defense to save him. That is the thing. Yes, this guy has pieces around him in Detroit, but the problem is he's not able to put it together because, come on.
I mean,
he can't run his own team. He can't run his own team. That's the thing. And the problem lies with Jared Goff. You need to get rid of Jared Goff.
Because, I mean, if you looked at this updraft draft case, you got C.J. Stroud, Will Levis, and Bryce Young, the top quarterback prospects going in for this 2023 NFL quarterback class. Because
and also, remember about this. The Ford family have done nothing with this team. Nothing.
And we're just seeing dire. I mean, the only time they ever had some winning seasons when they had Jim Caldwell, and then when they still had Matthew Stafford and Megatron. But when Megatron retired in his prime, that's when it all went to fucking hell.
And also, Jim Caldwell, you fired him after a winning season.
Two winning
who couldn't coach a lick.
Actually, it was 2 winning seasons under
Jim Caldwell. Seasons. Two in a row.
And 1 playoff appearance. And that was, I think, 2012 or 2014. I can't remember exactly which year.
It was 2014. His final year. They were 9-7, made the playoffs. You fired him for a guy who couldn't coach a lick.
It's Detroit fans. What?
And he was very racist towards Darius Slay.
And shit. Thank you, Detroit, for that. Because I mean, but like I said, I mean, it's just, and not just Megatron too. They also fucked up Barry. Barry Sanders didn't want to deal with their shit no more. This was back in the early 90s.
They get themselves a franchise player and they don't build around him. They had a franchise player, Matthew Stafford. They had 2 franchise players on one team, Matthew Stafford and Megatron. Messed him up.
Megatron retired.
They had Barry Sanders, messed him up.
retired at his prime. You had two Hall of Famers retire in their primes, and you should run Matthew Stafford. And we also thought too is like maybe they just said because Matthew Stafford was never the problem in Detroit. It's always the supporting cast around him.
Yeah,
and we knew
Matthew
that.
Stafford was never the issue. He
And
was
I
never the issue.
And I looked at this numbers too. Like he's like had like multiple 4,000-yard seasons during his tenure in Detroit. It's like
The
really.
man threw a game-winning touchdown pass with a broken arm.
Like I forgot. Oh wait, I forgot about that. I forgot even. I forgot it. I forgot
With
about
a broken, I think this was back in 2012. The man was like, "Nah, I'm staying in the game," and he threw a touchdown pass with a broken throwing arm.
that.
What?
It's Detroit. I mean, Detroit. You like the fact that you're so. And from what I've heard from diehards, like they're still rebuilding from the early 1950s. Are you fucking kidding me?
Because of this stupid curse. Because the stupid curse that somebody put on him and they weren't able to recover.
And not to mention, too, man, you went through so many shit players over years. I mean, Joey Harrington, Dan Orlovsky got with that blunder.
Oh yeah, the guy who didn't know where the back of the end zone was run like 10,
God,
he ran like 10 feet behind the line.
Like it's like they went so many through. Oh, trust me, we'll get to the Packers, and that's another below average team. That's the Green Bay Packers. What the fuck?
Below average. Aaron Rodgers is washed.
Not to mention, too, you were going to
get
that too, and not to mention, too, you have young wide receivers still trying to find their way in the end with this team,
and he's not helping them. He's not helping them. He's like, screw them. I want real receivers. Here's the thing: the team is giving you young, promising players, and you don't want to help them. And also, another thing too. And another thing too, Rob. He's still petty from the Jordan Love thing.
Yeah,
he's playing like a petty little.
Yeah, it's just I feel like it's the same way during when they drafted Rodgers behind Brett Favre. Remember that situation kind of was iffy at times.
Oh my god! But here's the thing. Did you see Brett Favre play petty and try to purposely suck?
No.
You know what he did? He played like a dog because he was mad that they were drafting a guy. Here's the thing. Aaron Rodgers is playing petty. He's not playing mad. He's playing petty. And it's hurting this team.
Well, and that's what I said too. Even though it might be, like I said, the only difference is that, Favre, at the time, he really wanted to prove like I'm your man whenever I want to hang it up, even though Favre has made some questionable decisions since then. But like I said, like Tyler, like me and Tyler said too, like at this point, Rodgers is 38, and the fact that, and I even read something in the suit that he's blaming two receivers, Christian Watson, and Romeo Doubs for him to reconsider retirement. Are you fucking kidding me, Aaron Rodgers? You're 38. Develop your wide receivers. Like your team, you're the veteran leader.
You're supposed to be a teammate. You're supposed to be for the team, but you're not. You're for yourself.
Acting like a spoiled little bitch.
You are being selfish, Aaron Rodgers. You are selfish because you want to help your receiving corps. Your team, you don't want to help.
And
your dang team.
I mean, shit. You got Randall Cobb. How much does he have left in him? Like you have guys leaving or might even retire on that team. Randall Cobb,
and you don't want to help the young guys. You don't want to help the young guys.
And see, this is why
might as well retire, Aaron. If you're like that, just retire.
It's funny enough to where you had the Vikings fans laughing at you, the Bears fans are laughing at you, which is shocking to say. Even though the Bears fans do stink, but I mean. The fact that the Bears are tied for second in the NFC North is shocking, to say the least. But I mean, I would say, like, I think Green Bay is going to definitely going to finish in the wild card, but they ain't going to go far. Like with the way that everything. Hell, I don't think they may not even make the playoffs.
They're making the way that they've been playing. They're not making the wild card.
And the fact
they're not even making the playoffs. Period, dude.
It's embarrassing if you're a Packers fan.
It is embarrassing.
Now, the Texans, I won't say they're not tank bowl worthy, but I think they're below average. I think they got. I think they
They're
got
1-4. They're 1-4. They're tanking.
okay.
They are tanking.
Well, they're 1-4-1 because that one tie came with
They're tanking. They're tanking.
I mean, shit. I mean, they have drafted well, though. I'll give them that.
Mm-hmm. Who's next?
Hang on a second. So, we got the Indianapolis Colts.
Oh dear God!
I'm going to put that in.
They're not tanking. They're below average.
So,
because right now they're 3-4 or 4-4.
They're 3-3 and
3-3-1. Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah, they're below average. They're not terrible, but they're not bad.
And the fact that good. And the reason for it is y'all, the Colts just have not done anything to really bring themselves back to relevance.
Matt Ryan's washed.
Oh yeah, that's a very good. Or just like that. It's a QB circus over there.
It's a QB circus. Yes, you ruined Andrew Luck, who was your franchise guy. He should still be on the team,
but
he's not because you ruined him so much that he was forced into retirement.
In his prime, too.
In his prime. He wasn't even done with his career. And you forced him into retirement because of injuries.
I mean, shit. You mean went through.
Then you had to deal with terrible Carson Wentz right after that. Now you have an old, past his prime, washed up Matt Ryan.
And Matt Ryan got benched for Sam Ehlinger. It's a fucking mess over there. Now I will say too, indeed,
he also had like a leg injury. That's why he got benched.
Which makes sense, but I mean, it's for the rest of the year, though. Which,
so he's benched. Okay, yeah. He gets benched for a backup.
Oh, trust me, greatness of the Raiders. We'll get to the Raiders very soon because I have a lot to say.
And specifically,
especially for you know who, because we're gonna put that man on the fucking grill.
Specifically,
but we're going back to the Colts. So they got some talent, Nyheim Hines, Jonathan Taylor, Quentin Nelson. For me, is one of the probably going to be the best offensive lineman for years to come. But EJ said this too. Like, we knew that Frank Reich's going to be on the hot seat. So is their GM, because their GM has not done well at drafting of getting a franchise cornerstone. Yes, I mean Quentin Nelson was at least one of it. I would say it's just, and that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
The defense is good. Their defense is good.
Their offense is mid.
Bad. Yeah,
but
it's either mid tier or bad. That's the thing.
It's like no sugarcoating it.
Yeah.
The Jaguars, though. Oh God, where do I want to begin? You had all this.
Put them on below average because I feel like they'll still be a good team eventually. But the problem is,
it's just been meh,
dude.
Like I said,
I literally thought I was fooled early in the season when I thought, okay.
I think they might turn the corner.
Hold on. I'm like, okay, all right. Trevor Lawrence doesn't look like a bust. He's been looking like a bust.
And this is coming from us Clemson fans. It's like, God damn.
It pains me. It pains me as a Clemson fan saying this. Because he helped us win a national championship.
Not to mention you traded James Robinson to the fucking Jets. Like, I don't get it.
They're not. I mean, they're not bad, but they're not tanking either.
I mean, I still feel like they're good. I think they can finish with more than 2 wins because I mean, I think they got decent talent enough to actually at least win. I say, 3 to 4 games at the most.
And they got decent coaching in Doug Peterson.
And it's.
Now we know how firsthand how good he is. Mm-hmm. He can be a good coach.
Yeah, it's sad.
It's really sad, and it's sad as a Clemson fan that Trevor Lawrence is not panning out.
The only one that's panning out from Clemson on the team is Travis Etienne.
That's it.
Yeah, your own college teammate is actually doing much.
And he was on the same team as Trevor in college.
He's not doing well for.
That just pains me. I'm like,
oh yeah. we'll get to the Giants in a second. Well, before we get to it, yeah, I don't know if everybody saw that the Kadarius Toney finally got traded to the Kansas City Chiefs for a 3rd and a 6th round pick.
Who traded him?
Giants.
Oh God, Giants! What are you doing?
But who's to say? No one Patrick. And speaking of the Chiefs,
Kadarius Toney's gonna go off for Kansas City. Telling you that right now.
I mean, shit, it's freaking Patrick Mahomes we're talking about here because the fact that he doesn't have Tyreek Hill, Juju's actually fucking balling. MVS is fucking balling. Like they got
Juju always balled, so I'm not shocked about that. Juju was always
Scantling though he's actually having a really
the rest
good year.
of the receiving core was a bunch of no names,
and they're fucking balling. But then again, you also have Patrick Mahomes and you have Andrew Reid, so you have your head coach. God damn it. Even though that's the thing too, I don't hate the Chiefs because I still have a soft spot for Andy Reid.
Here's what impresses me about Patrick Mahomes. This man could throw an absolute dot down the field without even looking at the receiver that he's throwing to. Like what?
It's insane. Well, Kansas City, you know where they go. Super Bowl. Yep, Super Bowl. They're Super Bowl contenders. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If they somehow not make the Super Bowl, I'll be shocked.
Yeah.
Because then again, you have all this talent. I mean, you got a good running game. Man, shit, their defense is actually pretty solid. Got George Karlaftis. They got George Karlaftis, Trent McDuffie. Yep. I mean, who else is that over there? I can't even. And that's the thing. Yeah, and that's what we're saying. That dude just
Mahomes is a magician. Yeah, he is. He's an absolute god tier quarterback on this field. God tier. Yes, I'm putting him on God tier.
I mean, he's a top 2 quarterback in this league. That's for sure.
This man is an absolute god at quarterback. I'm telling you that right now.
I think, and I'll say this too, him and Alex Smith were total godsends with the Kansas City Chiefs. Because I remember before Alex Smith came to the Chiefs were absolutely they were terrible.
They were absolute dog water.
Absolutely. They're all God, that offense is going to be fucking nuts.
Oh my God, that offense is going to go crazy in the second half of the season, my dude.
That is disgusting.
Crazy. That's disgusting.
It really is. That is really unfair.
Borderline makes me. It's so disgusting. I want to puke.
But yeah, I mean, but then again, they got really good coaching over there with Eric Bieniemy, Andy Reid. They got really good.
Oh, Andy Reid, tremendous coach.
At this point, put that man in the Hall of Fame. I don't give anybody. I mean, he's already making the argument.
I don't care what anybody says either, Rob. He's first ballot. I mean,
the dude's he's already made an argument. I mean, he's been around the league for years as a coach, and now has 2 Super Bowl rings. Even though he should have had 3, but that's besides the point. But no, the next team
had 3, but he should have had 3. But 2004 happened, and whatever.
And that was kind of the I would say our downfall for the next 13 years. I would say.
Wasn't really a downfall. It was that we couldn't make it back there.
Well, in that sense, yes. That's kind of where I was going with that.
It wasn't really a downfall because we were on a downward trend. We just kind of had a setback, and then we just weren't able to climb again.
But yeah, I mean, next team we got the Chargers. Technically, he has 2. He has 1 with the Green Bay Packers and as an assistant. A lot of people tend to forget that. As a head coach,
yes, he has 1 ring. But we're using it overall as an assistant and
the head coach.
And head coach. We're not saying that we won a ring in 04 because we didn't. Reid has 2 with Green Bay as an assistant head coach and a regular head coach.
And let's be real, even though it was Kansas City and San Francisco. I know a lot of people had going with San Fran. For me, I was going with Kansas City because I want to see Andy Reid finally win one as a head coach after all these years.
Yeah, I was really rooting for him. I'm like, please, Kansas City, pull this off.
At least get the man one because the dude's a Hall of Fame coach as it is.
And honestly, can I tell you something?
Shoot.
When Kansas City won in 2020, I felt like the Eagles won in 2020.
Because I mean, that's
what I felt like because Andy Reid finally got it, and I was so proud of this guy.
And I just felt like because I mean, it's like we have the exact same, almost like all-star caliber talent, and it's just like maybe I think maybe even better. Offensively, I think if you looked at the 04 Eagles and the 2020 Chiefs, I think the Chiefs had better talent than the 04 Eagles. Look, McNabb was good, but he wasn't great. Oh, well, later down the years, but that's besides the point. But the next team we have to kind of talk about is the Chargers. Now, the Chargers is an interesting case for in the AFC West. I don't think they're a below average team, but I still think they could be a playoff contender.
Yeah, they're a playoff contender straight up. Yeah,
But I think they're still a little bit off from being a Super Bowl contender.
Yeah, they're missing a few pieces, but they're a playoff contender.
No, absolutely. And I know Jake. I know if Jake's even watching this, I think he'd be happy for him to hear that.
Yeah.
Now we get the Rams.
They look great on both sides of the ball, so I kind of feel like they're a playoff team.
Oh yeah, I mean, shit. You made all those moves for a reason, and you don't make the playoffs, then that's an issue.
Yeah. Next team is the Rams. I will put them at surprising.
For me, I think they're still below average for me.
No, I will put them at surprising because they're surprisingly bad,
which is shocking. But then again,
surprisingly bad.
And I think me and Tyler knew this. Like after that Super Bowl, it's like, yeah, I feel like all the putting all the eggs in one basket.
Then again, no. Since we're not surprised, put them back at below average.
Because remember, and Tyler, you and I talked about this once before.
I'm like, as soon as I saw like they were showing about like how many people that they had and how much cap space they did, I'm like, this is gonna blow up in their faces next year.
And we told
that's what happened because it happened to us. 2017, we put all our eggs in one basket, overspent for players.
Yeah, what up, Mitch?
Peaked, and then we peaked, and then we hit a valley.
A really deep valley, I would say.
It wasn't really a deep valley. It was like a 3-4. It was like a 3-4 year long valley.
Oh yeah,
but it wasn't really. I mean, really got deep. 2020, but it was a 3-4 year long valley. We kind of climbed out of that really quickly, so it wasn't too deep. But the thing is, that's what happens when you overspend for older players with your cap. You run out of cap. You gotta get rid of the cap space so you can get more players.
And not to mention this too. I mean, you also had Andrew Whitworth was playing his final season in the league.
Andrew Whitworth retired. Von Miller signed elsewhere. He walked because he wanted more money, but didn't have enough money to give him more money, so he walked.
And went to Buffalo, and that's really we're seeing how good
that's Buffalo, making them look good.
Buffalo is good, but the fact they added Von Miller on that defensive end, I'm sorry, that's unfair.
The O line for the Rams, man,
it's
terrible.
Yeah, terrible.
And it's making Matthew Stafford look bad.
Yeah, I couldn't.
That's the thing. I don't think Matthew Stafford's a bad quarterback, but he just doesn't have a line to help him. It's making him rush. And it's making him rush throws. He's throwing picks. He's getting sacked a lot. It's just because this team is just the offensive line is just not good.
It really is.
That's why we're not surprised because it happened to us.
And not to mention this too, you also and there's a lot of other factors too. You brought in Allen Robinson, you have not used him. Cam Akers not being used. The play call has been is very questionable as goddamn hell. Like goddamn,
the play calling is bad. But the thing is too, you can't really fault the play calling because what can you do with a bad offensive line like that?
That is
bad
true.
Team like you can't do much. That's the thing.
But yeah,
so that's why they're below average. Not really surprised because it happened to us.
So karma is a bitch sometimes. Now we go to the Raiders. The way that I see this is because when Josh McDaniels with them, we know that's the only reason.
They're below average. They're below average.
I think they're below average.
No, they're surprising.
They're going to be a surprising team because I don't think first of all, you have all this.
Here's the thing. They don't have a bad roster. They just have bad coaching from Josh McDaniels. Josh McDaniels, he could be a good offensive coordinator because he is, but the problem is he can't run a team.
And
we've seen this before. Remember the Broncos in 2010?
Oh God, damn.
Yeah, exactly.
We still had the guys of the late Demaryius Thomas. God rest that man's soul. You also had
Tim Tebow. It was terrible.
Before he kicked him out of the league for him to pursue a baseball career, and that didn't work out too well.
Did that too.
But not to mention too. I mean, you got their defense. You got a good defense, though. I mean, with Max Crosby, Chandler Jones. I mean,
traded for Devontae Adams.
It's
And
just,
you have a good offense, and
and
they
you
haven't
have
done
a
anything.
running back and Josh Jacobs playing for a contract and is running the goddamn ball like it's, I think it was like third or fourth in rushing in the NFL. It's like
You have a team. You have a team to do it, and yet they're 1-5,
they're
1-6, two
no
and five.
they're I think they're no wait a minute they
I
are
forgot the record.
I think they're three and what is the record?
I forgot.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. Their defensive tackle is absolute weak. That's their weakness, or the weakness on the defensive end or the defensive side of the football.
But that's one. That's one position. Defensive tackle is one position, so it's not going to hurt. Their defense has been pretty good still.
I mean, shit. You got I mean, the fact you have Max Crosby and Chandler Jones at the duo, that is scary.
It's just that the defensive tackle can't get to the quarterback. That's the thing.
Yeah, it's just the pressure.
That pressure on that side of the ball isn't good. But the problem here really lies on Josh McDaniel and that play call.
And at times when he goes conservative, man, it bites the Raiders in the ass. I mean, we've seen
When he's aggressive, yes, he could be good if he's aggressive. But the problem is he plays like he's scared to run a play. And he plays too conservative. 95 to 100% of the time. And it's just
Raiders are 2-4.
He did this in Denver in 2010.
It's like, and shit, if you go back to the Cardinals game, they should have let's be real, should have locked that game down.
They should have.
But that was all on the defense. The defense
here's the thing. I very stupidly, I did not take Josh McDaniel into account. I just looked at the roster. The way the roster is constructed, they should be Super Bowl contenders. They should be. But Josh McDaniels is still out there. He's still coaching. They're surprisingly bad.
It's just,
and they're going to continue to be bad unless he gets fired.
And we'll see what happens. But the next team, we got the Miami Dolphins. I think that's an easy playoff contender. I mean,
that's too easy.
But I mean, I think they're still a little bit off from being a Super Bowl contender for me. I don't think they're that far up. I feel like they're like one or two pieces. Because let's be, you got a good duo at Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill. You got a good running game with Raheem Mostert. Tua,
you got yourself a good quarterback in Tua.
Now protect the fucking man. God damn it.
Protect him. And also, once he gets it, next time he gets a concussion, don't have him out there again. Please. Don't do that.
But I mean, they're really not that far. Like I said, if they somehow make a push for the Super Bowl, see, the Miami Dolphins is an interesting case. Like, I don't think they have the talent to be a Super Bowl contender. But who's to say in that the AFC East? Though, I mean,
that AFC East is
it's very interesting this year.
Oh my god, dude! It's like a reverse. It's kind of like a reverse. The Patriots are bad now. The Dolphins are good.
You got the Jets in fucking second place in the goddamn AFC East. Who the fuck did that happen?
And they're good.
They're 5-2. It's like what are we watching right now?
They literally pulled a 5-2 out of their butt.
Well, like, I mean, what? It's fucking nuts.
Like, dude, I don't know how.
The next
since we're talking about the Jets, since we're talking about the Jets, let's get that on the way. They're surprising. They are surprising to me.
Surprising. But I think they're a borderline playoff contender, which is shocking to really who would have thought.
They are a playoff contender. Period.
It was hard to like. Do you want to put them in the surprising tier, or do you want to put them in the playoff contender? Because
you can make a case for both, but it's more so surprising because we didn't expect them to be this good.
Yeah,
that's the thing. So that's more. They're more of a surprising team. Yes, they're a playoff contender too. You can make a case for that, but we didn't expect it.
Next, we go into the NFC North. We get the Minnesota Vikings, who are 5-1.
Playoff contender.
I think they're a playoff contender, but their defense, though, I still cannot trust because I really
don't trust Kirk Cousins in the playoff games either because he's had a bad.
The numbers show it otherwise. He's 1-3 as a playoff starter.
Yeah, he's notorious for choking playoff games, except for that one game.
But when it comes to like the regular season stuff like that, I mean, they got the talent to do so.
He's okay.
But and if I'm the Vikings, keep that man off of primetime because good lord, because we Vikings fans, sorry, but we had to beat your ass the second time on primetime. We did it once before, and we did it again,
dude.
But
honestly, I won't even apologize. We're not even sorry for this.
Nope.
After you desecrated all over the Rocky statue,
yeah, you got your ass. We beat your ass.
We beat you twice in blowouts.
Who would have thought that would be possible? But I mean, look, the Vikings are still a good team, though. I mean, I'll give them some props, though. I mean, Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, Dalvin Cook, really good in the backfield. Unfortunately, had
the Justin Jefferson.
I mean,
yeah,
dude. I mean, the dude's really. But I mean, they got some talent. I mean, they're even though the defense is, I won't say it's not terrible, but it's you can't trust it at times. It's very inconsistent.
No, you can't really trust your defense at times. Yeah, I agree.
But there are some moments when their defense is on point. They're a very good defense, but like I said, it's been inconsistent. Not having their secondary is just like Lewis Cine Jr. and Andrew Booth, and I really hate to say that as a Clemson guy because Booth came out of Clemson. Their secondary isn't the best. Too. It's sad. It really sad to say. I mean, this is coming from us.
We got two busts in the league and one good player. That's not good. Clemson, do better, please.
I mean, shit. I mean, Hunter Renfrow is a good receiver, and he came out of Clemson.
Okay, two busts, two good players. Okay.
Next team, Patriots.
And we got two busts, two good players, and one idiot.
For me, I'm going to put the Patriots in the below average tier because let's be real, they got their ass. Who would have thought the Patriots got their ass handed to them by an abysmal Chicago Bears team,
a low-level Chicago Bears team, and they
33-14 in Gillette Stadium.
Here's the thing: they blew you out of Gillette. You're so bad, dude. And also, they don't know who the heck their quarterback is. Is it Mac Jones? Zappy? Or is it Zappy? Is it Jones or Zappy? We don't know. Is it the guy who sung Stacy's mom, or is it the guy who's supposed to be the starter?
Not to mention, they both look the goddamn same, which is that's scary.
Like what quarterback do you want? New England? Do you want?
And I've actually talked to. Oh, and that's another thing too. Bobby too from Beantown Breakdown. He was at the pass game. Oh, good lord! When
he had to have been pissed.
Trust me.
I'm sorry.
It was the worst, not just for that. It was worse for Boston sports. I mean, you had the Celtics losing to the Bulls. You had the Pats losing to the Bears. So the Bears pretty much during that week owned the Boston sports.
You guys own Boston.
That's shocking. Well, we knew how the
it's kind of like how our week went. We owned the Cardinals in two sports.
Yeah,
in 1 week.
That is true.
So I kind of get how you guys are feeling. So,
but next team we got is the Saints.
They're abysmal. They are abysmal.
That's a below average.
Average.
I mean, we're hearing rumors of Alvin Kamara going to get traded. Let's be real. Trade Michael Thomas when you can. Just blow the damn team up.
New England, give us Alvin Kamara, please. Make us stacked.
Because,
please.
I mean, it's just like when Drew Brees retired and Steven was jumping, everything went to fucking hell. You know, I mean, it's just like New Orleans is not the same without Payne and or Drew Brees. Because they define New Orleans football. I mean, look, Tyrann Mathieu actually had a really good season. Their defense is decent, but
I mean, they've always had a decent defense, but the quarterback room has just been abysmal.
I mean, Gooley even knows. And
Jameis Winston had his fool last year. He's still terrible.
And Dalton is not that great either. And you got
washed.
And you're paying $100 million to a guy that's not going to play quarterback in Taysom Hill, which is the worst decision you could ever make. That entire front office is fucking dumber than a sack of potatoes.
They don't know what they don't know what they're doing post the Drew Brees era. They don't know what they're doing.
I mean, thank you to Hal for fleecing them twice.
Yeah, fleeced them twice. All right, next team.
You got the Giants.
I'm gonna have to put the Giants in the surprise.
They're the playoff contender for me.
They're surprising for me.
But they're surprised, but you also make the argument that they're also going to be a playoff contender as well.
Yeah, you can make that.
It's
argument.
It's hard to. Both of your sports, though,
they're a very, very strong 6-1, very strong start to the season. Giants fans, congratulations! You're you're not a dumpster fire anymore. So
You're not a laughing. You're not the punching bag. But we
not
see
the
another
punching
team.
bag.
We got.
That's Washington now. That's Washington now. You guys aren't the punching bag.
And not to mention this too. Not to mention too, when the Giants cleaned house, got a really good GM, a good Brian. I'm going to give Brian Daboll a lot.
Brian Daboll has so much heart. So much heart.
It's not surprising for me to say, but I think he fixed Daniel Jones. I think he did fix Daniel Jones, and Saquon Barkley.
And every time they laugh, every time they win, Daboll makes me laugh, but he also makes me excited for him. Because every time they win, the guy looks like a kid in a candy store who just got a candy bar. He's jumping around. He's happy. Like, it's awesome.
And for Giants fans too, like the Giants, I've never had hard feelings towards because
I really didn't.
I just felt very. I felt you had to feel extremely bad for almost a decade of fucking losing.
Oh yeah, you did. Yeah, I felt bad.
Shit head coaches like Ben McAdoo, Pat Shurmur, Joe Judge, for the love of God.
Dude, Ben McAdoo. I don't even know how he's even still has a job in the league. He doesn't even know football. The guy doesn't even know football. Period. You can tell.
I mean, he's the offensive coordinator for the Carolina Panthers. So,
oh dear God, that's why they're winning. Whatever.
They're going to take first of all, they just took a quarterback in this past year's draft in Matt Corral, and unfortunately he got hurt. And I don't get it, but. Now we're going to go to the Philadelphia Eagles right now, coming into Week 8 at 6-0 because just coming off the bye, going against Pittsburgh.
Now here's the surprising thing. I'm not going to put them as Super Bowl contender.
Not yet. I just want to say they're a
playoff contender. Not as of yet, because look at the past 6 wins that we do have, and I know we're undefeated. I know we look strong on both sides of the ball, and we should. And Eagles fans would be like, put them as Super Bowl contenders. Super Bowl contenders. You got to look at their opponents. And we had a relatively easy schedule.
I mean,
that's why I'm not going to go overboard and put them at Super Bowl contenders.
Because the only good team we played was Dallas.
But here's the thing, though. Here's the catch. Did we play Dak? No. We played a backup quarterback. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Even in the Dallas game, we played a backup quarterback. We haven't beaten anybody that's, the greatest team, or like we haven't had a bit. We weren't even tested yet. That's what I'm trying to say. We're not tested yet.
I mean,
if we get tested and we win, Super Bowl. But right now we're playoff contenders.
I'm actually going to take a look at. I'm actually going to look at our schedule going forward because there's going to be some games that we might either are going to start beating some ass because the next 3 games we got Steelers on this coming Sunday. We got the Texans.
We're going to beat them.
We got Washington.
We're going to beat them.
Then we got the Colts on Week 11, which I think we can beat them.
Matt Ryan's washed. Easy.
Green Bay.
Aaron Rodgers is kind of washed. Yeah.
But that is home in Philadelphia.
But he's still washed. He's still kind of washed.
Then we got the Tennessee Titans for Week 13.
That could be a test, but they got Tannehill. Tannehill has a tendency.
Yeah, I mean, not to mention the only offense.
So not really a strong start here. So continue.
Week 14, we got the Giants.
That could be a test. That could be a test because Daniel Jones looks pretty good.
Not to mention be making mistakes. And Giants, and I've talked, and I know, and even here on the spot on the Hardcore Sports Network, we have Giants fans, and I talked to them, and they said, like if any team makes a mistake with the Giants defense, they're going to make it pay. We saw that.
Yeah, we've seen that week by week by week, and that's why they're strong.
Because the Giants are 6-1 for a reason. It's because of their defense.
If we carve their defense, then they could be a test that we can. If we pass that test, we can make a case for playoffs, or we can make a case for Super Bowl.
Week 15. This is going to be an easy dub. That's against the Chicago Bears.
Easy.
Then we're away in Dallas on Christmas Eve.
Now, this is the game that will be a test because Dak is playing that game. Mm-hmm. Hopefully. Dak is playing that game. I feel like this is the game that will really test us. That's the Christmas game. If we win that Christmas game, you can make a case that we're in the Super Bowl.
Week 17, we got the Saints, and we own the Saints. So, Juice, if you're watching this, we own your Saints like a gift on Christmas, and then we host the Giants at home to end the season and Week 18.
The the games that we do have that could really test us, the Giants and the Cowboys, all three of those matchups. The two divisional games, the
Because
two
the divisional games
teams,
are the hardest games to win.
yeah, that too. And plus, they had both teams, both the Giants and the Cowboys, have good quarterbacks. And it shocks me to say that Daniel Jones is a good quarterback, but he is. He's finally blossoming. He's finally blossoming under this
And it
offense.
took what, 4 years at this point?
Yeah, but honestly, I thought Daniel Jones was bad. The thing is, they had bad coaching the whole time. Daniel Jones was never a bad quarterback. He just had bad coaching that didn't fit him. This time he has Dable, who fits him.
And remember, Dable also fixed Josh Allen. Look where Josh Allen is at in his career. I mean, like
Josh Allen was a terrible quarterback
in the first 2 years.
His first 2 years, and then Dable came along. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the league. He can make Daniel Jones look like the best quarterback in the league.
Yeah,
because he has that potential. He brings out the potential in quarterbacks, and I feel like he brought that out in Daniel Jones. So that could be it for us. And Dallas, they got Dak Prescott. You know what Dak Prescott can do.
Yeah, we've seen him over the years. Because it's always been us in Dallas for the last 3 to 4 years. Longer than that.
Because the Giants and the Cowboys were notoriously bad for those years. But now it's a three-headed monster.
God. Now that would be shocking, and that's very shocking that 3 out of the 4 NFC East teams can make the playoffs. Who would have thought that'd been fucking possible?
Dude, we thought fans were going into this. They're going to be the NFC least again.
No. I think
we're actually a really strong division considering.
That's shocking.
Which is shocking.
Because if you look back at some of the things that we talked about for football, I've said this too. I think the most strongest division that we might see is the AFC West. I don't think that's the case.
It could be the NFC East this year. That's the strongest.
That is fucking nuts. Look, I mean, Kansas City is good, but man, you got 3 other teams that are just ass. I mean, for lack of a better term,
they're dog water division now. But here's also the reason why those games could test us. Those are late in the year games. Those are spoiler games.
Yeah.
So they could spoil us being Super Bowl contenders or playoff contenders.
I mean, that is true.
They could spoil things for us. But I feel like we'll be, undefeated until
and not to mention we traded not to mention we traded for Robert Quinn to help on the other side of the defensive line.
Yeah, that other side of the defensive line, we needed that bad. Because that right side has just been dog water.
Because Barnett is going to be done for the year with the ACL. Patrick Johnson's hurt, but I mean, shit. We got
But that's why I'm saying that the Giants and the Cowboys
and even Arco's agreeing with us. We're right in the middle.
We're right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We were right in the middle. We're right in the middle here. We're on that fringe. We're on that fringe line.
It's like we talked about. It's like the same thing we talked about with Cincinnati. They're that team that's on the fringe.
They're on that fringe. But us, it's a different story. We have a line. We have an offensive line. We have a quarterback. We have
everything.
We have everything. But the problem is we haven't beat anybody relevant or good yet. We have to beat somebody that's good. That's the Giants and the Cowboys in this case in our schedule. Because both teams are good. If we beat those teams, we could be Super Bowl contenders. But right now, like RQ said, we're on that fringe.
Because for me, though, I do feel like, at this place, let's say if we do want to get a couple losses, I think I can see it one in New York against the Giants and one against the Cowboys. Because I can
see that. I can definitely see that.
Because realistically, if we could go 15-2 or was it? Yeah, 15 because 17 games. If we can finish the season 15-2, that's probably the best season we ever had. I think probably better than our 2017 run. But then again, we
went 13-3 that year.
God damn. But yeah,
even the last time we were undefeated at 6-0 at this point in 2004, we still finished 13-3.
So yes, it's like because for me, like if we do lose, like so what? Nobody can go undefeated. It's the hardest thing nowadays in football to go undefeated. The only time they ever team to do that was the 1972 Dolphins when you had the great Don Shula and I don't know Well, I can't say because I was never around, but that's besides the point.
My parents weren't even around that time, 1972.
But that's besides the point. But the next team, easy, below average, Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah. The coaching is kind of honestly, I like Mike Tomlin, what he's done for that organization, but it's time for him to go.
I mean,
he's lost it there. Also,
I think it's just the coaching staff in general. I mean, Matt Canada is an
coaching staff. I mean,
I don't think
they have a team. They just don't have the coaching.
Because Mike Tomlin is doing. Mike Tomlin is doing what he can. Because remember, Matt Canada is a horrible OC. I mean, their defense struggles without TJ Watt, and we see that.
Mm-hmm.
And and I don't know how long TJ Watt's going to be out though. He's still in the IR, so he's out
for the season.
Oh well, that'll tell you.
He's out for the season. Yeah, they announced it when he got hurt initially.
But damn, but I would say this too. I mean, the only time look, the Pittsburgh Steelers got some potential. They got a fluky win, I would say, over a horrible Tampa Bay Buccaneers team.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I think that's a lucky win for them. But I still feel like they still fall in the category of actually, hang on. But the way that because for me, I don't see the Steelers are not like a tank bowl, but because good Lord, if Matt Canada is still the offensive coordinator going forward, you're not going to see Najee Harris getting any action, not seeing any production out of him, Chase Claypool, Deontay Johnson, George Pickens. You got four and even Dante said this too. Like Chase Claypool was like, "Where's Waldo?" or Finding Nemo. He was nowhere to be found for most of the season. Until one game, he starts to break out. It's like, oh, that's what it is. Now another team, you go in the surprising category is the Seattle Seahawks. Who would have thought they would actually play solid football?
And who would have thought Geno Smith would be good?
Exactly. With all the team that, I feel like not having decaf though might hurt them a little bit, but I don't think they're going to overcome that adversity.
Did you just say not have decaf?
DK Metcalf.
I heard not have decaf. Like what?
Nah, but knowing that DK Metcalf might miss some time, but I don't think Seattle, because we know the NFC West is an open division because we had their division rival of the 49ers, which we'll talk about in just a second. The fact that Geno Smith, though, from what we remember him from more of his career, hasn't really been that really. I would say like a career journeyman. I would say as a backup, most likely.
He was a journeyman, but the problem is he was never good enough to be a starter. He's playing like he's a starter this year. Like what?
I mean, the fact that we've seen games where they put up 200, 300 yard passing, he was like, where the fuck was this coming from? Like, but then again,
this the last like 6-7 years of your career? Like what?
Like we knew he had the potential to do it. It's just for some reason, I guess it was just the coaching that could be the issue. If
Could have been the coaching because he did play for teams like the Jets and the Broncos.
Yeah, that is absolutely true. We now get the division rival, the 49ers. Also, kind of break them down. That I don't think they're surprising. But
below average.
I think they're still below average team, but I think they're below average on a fringe of making the playoffs.
No, they're not even making the playoffs. They're below average.
Because, I mean, the way that the 49ers are, I mean, you have Debo, you have George Kittle, you got Christian McCaffrey. For that man's got to stay healthy because I think that's going to be a really good running duel between him and Debo.
Yeah, that's the key there. That's the key there. If McCaffrey can stay healthy, they could make a run, but I don't know.
I don't know because now it would be shocking if the Seattle actually overtakes the division. Now that would be shocking because I mean, just all the teams in the NFC West are just garbage. Because I mean, you got the Cardinals are absolute ass. I'm trying to think who else is in it. No, and the Rams are bad. So yeah, 3 out of the 4 teams in the NFC West are freaking below average. The only surprising team is the Seattle Seahawks. Who would have thought that the NFC West had 3 teams like the Cardinals, the Rams, and the Niners? I almost think they suck, but they're just not that great. Oh boy! So now
let's go to the Bucks.
Below average.
They're below average. Tom Brady's washed.
Their O-line sucks. I mean,
O-line sucks. The receivers are dropping passes.
like it's just nothing's going. They have no momentum going forward.
Nothing's going right for them. They're terrible.
But it's just like there's really nothing, no positives for the Tampa Bay.
There's
team.
none. There's none at all. No.
Now we got the Tennessee Titans. Now the Titans, for me, I don't think they're a very surprising team, but I don't think they're like that super. Because I mean, they play in one of the worst divisions in football, is the AFC South. But I'm going to put them in the surprising tier just because. Let's be real. I mean, the Texans are absolute trash. I'm trying to think who else is in the AFC South. The Jacksonville. Yeah, the Jaguars are ass. The Texans are ass.
I would also put them at surprising because I didn't expect them to make the playoffs or make a run for the playoffs this year.
Exactly the way how they started off the season.
Yeah, I didn't think that even the way the roster was constructed before the season, getting rid of all these players,
trade AJ Brown.
You get rid of AJ Brown, which we fleeced them for. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you to Hallie for that, but that's besides the point.
But they lost AJ Brown. They're relying on rookies. I didn't expect them to be good.
And knowing that the Tennessee Titans, they just run through the offense to Derrick Henry, so that's pretty much how it is.
Yeah.
But because we all know that the AFC South is one of the worst, like I said, one of the worst divisions of football because you have the Colts are ass, despite the fact that they got a sub and close to 500 by the. If everything goes wrong, they're going to fall below 500 because they're 3-1 going into week 8.
Yeah.
Jacksonville had high hopes, but they just fooled us like a complete. They just made us look like complete fools.
They made us look like fools. Starting off,
trust me, Jeff. We put them in the tank bowl category.
Yeah, we put them at tank bowl because they're terrible. And
I mean, shit. And like I said, for those who are just coming in, we just talked about the NFC West. 3 out of the 4 teams are absolute ass, and one team that's surprising. That's the Seattle Seahawks. Nobody ever expected the Seahawks to be 4-3 in the first 7 weeks. Who the fuck was that? Who just thought that? I mean, Geno Smith played like an MVP type of quarterback. I mean, good God,
right?
I mean, unbelievable. Hell,
and now the final team,
low average, not
below average. They're not terrible, but they're not tank bowl.
I mean, Taylor Heineke as a quarterback though is decent, but the fact that
he's kind of hit or miss. One day he's good, he looks like one of the top tier quarterbacks. Then the next week
he'll just hit a brick wall.
It was a travesty for him. He's kind of like, I feel like in the next few years he's not going to be a starter. He's going to be like a backup journeyman. He has that kind of has that level towards him. He's not a starter. He's just going to be a backup journeyman. That's what I feel like. Getting Carson Wentz was a bad move. Anybody who gets Carson Wentz, that's a bad move.
And I've seen Hogs Haven on Twitter like say, Carson Wentz should never take a snap or what. Even Washington fans are turning on him.
Dude, he should I have to agree. He should never take a snap of the NFL.
At that point, just kick him out of the league, though. Take
him out of the league. No one pick him up. Because I don't care. Get a new job. Work at McDonald's. I don't give a dang what you do, Carson Wentz. You're not an NFL tier quarterback anymore.
Yeah.
You had a good season 2016, but you had that fluke season in 2017. After that, you have done nothing.
No, absolutely not. And yes, the Broncos at that point you should at least just try to find.
Yeah, get rid of Hackett. Get rid of Hackett.
Because I've been hearing rumblings that they might
get rid of Hackett.
They might cut ties with Hackett because let's be real. And that's a very good point too. Russell Wilson is no longer in his prime. He's way past his prime.
He's past his prime. Yeah,
I think your prime.
You're like in your 30s, like your early 30s when you're.
He's 34.
He's past it.
Because I think from 29 to 32 is your prime years. I think
29 to 32 is your prime years. Yes.
And remember Quinn's 31, so we got 2 more years, 1 or 2 more good years left in Robert Quinn. So I mean,
yeah,
take advantage of what we can get, and then because remember the Saints keep losing. Right now we're at the number. When I looked at our draft, so we're at the number 4 pick.
Imagine if they keep losing and we get the number 1 pick as a good team.
Oh God! Think about that. Yeah, we're gonna be a playoff team and have the number 1 overall pick. That's unfair. Hey, Seattle, or I'm sorry, no, Mickey Loomis, man. Thank you for your first round pick for
New Orleans, please keep losing. Please keep sucking.
Now, actually, since we're on the top of New Orleans, let's kind of go over their schedule a little bit.
Right.
Hang on, I'm just.
And every time they have a loss, I'm saying hold this L.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's just like they're not that great though.
All right, so let's get into it.
No, just bear with me and let the NFL app load up.
Dude, just go to Google.
I got it.
Okay.
Because our buddy Mitch is going to be joining us in just a few, so he's going to be on. And so right now the Saints are 2-5 because right now the other games that they have to play, they got to put. They're hosting. They're home against. I think they're home against the Raiders. Like I said,
hold this L. The Raiders are going to shock them. No, honestly, no. That's a win for the Saints.
Yeah, they still have Andy Dalton starting for them. That's an
okay.
L.
Hold this L.
They got the Baltimore Ravens.
Hold this L.
Then the Steelers. I think
hold this L.
We got the Rams.
Hold this L.
We got the 49ers.
That one, they could win that one.
That's a 50-50 game.
I think they could win that one.
I think the only one I can see is Tampa Bay.
No, I think they'll lose to Tampa Bay, but they'll win against the Steelers.
Yeah, so let's see. I guess I can go 0-2. So in the second half, they go 1-2. 0-2. Then I think they could get a win at the Steelers. So that's 1-2 right now to start the second half.
1-2.
But you got the Rams with the 49ers.
1-3, 1-4.
But you can go 2-4 because I think, or 1-5 actually, with Tampa Bay in week 13. But they have a bye week in week 14.
Okay, week 15.
Atlanta.
1-6.
I'm going to, because I mean, Atlanta's probably so Shaka's playing some pretty decent football.
They're shocking the world. I think they'll continue to shock the world. So it'll be 1-6 for the Saints.
The Cleveland Browns on Christmas Eve.
The Browns will be the Browns, 2-6.
You got us. Even though we own them.
2-7.
Last game of the year, Carolina.
That's 3-8. They'll take it, Carolina. We'll probably get like the second pick.
And speaking of my buddy Mitch Koski, yo,
I actually got news. I don't know if you guys saw in the group chat, but Coach Ed Gladney is now part of Hardcore Sports.
Nice.
Let's go.
Welcome in.
Yeah, he's now in. So, all right, what is this I'm looking at here?
This is where we rank the teams so far
tier wise because I had this for some reason I just not even 5 minutes this idea popped in my head.
It's a good idea, man. I've always thought about doing this. I just don't know how to do it.
Well, because the idea was to see where these teams stand right now because we're at this halfway point of the season.
I like it.
So far, we
don't know how to do it.
Well, we kind of really broke it all down. No, the only two Super Bowl contenders we see is the Buffalo Bills and the Chiefs.
Yes.
But playoff contenders, we have the Baltimore Ravens, the Bengals, the Cowboys, the Chargers, the Dolphins, the Vikings, the Giants, and the Eagles. So 3 out of the 4 of the NFC East are in the playoff contenders. You have 5 surprising teams: the Falcons, the Raiders, the Jets, the Seahawks, and the Titans. Okay. Below average. Well, we had a lot of below average teams. The Cardinals, the Bears, the Browns, the Packers, the Colts, the Jags, the Rams, the Patriots, the Saints, the Steelers, the 49ers, Buccaneers, and the Commies.
Oh, you're in a different brand. I can't play that clip. Wait, you have it. I gave it to you.
Oh, shit. I think
play the clip anyway, Rob. I don't
think I've even put it on the StreamYard. Whoops.
You didn't. I was looking. I was like, wait, where the hell is it? I need to do my own brand. That's what I need.
Yeah, that's what I did. Because to make sure you keep all my stuff over there. And we had the Tank Bowl, which is the worst of the worst. The Carolina, the Broncos, the Lions, and the Texans. So this is where we stand for most of these 32 NFL teams. Now, Mitch, let me kind of get your think on it. Do you agree or disagree, or do you want, or where do you see some of these teams?
Hold on 1 second. I'm doing something real quick behind the scenes. Hold on. Why are the Eagles? I mean, I still respect that.
It's
playoff
because
contenders.
We're on the fringe.
You'll respect it more when we explain it. The reason why is because the reason why we have these 6 wins is we played teams that were next to no. And you can say, yeah, the Cowboys are 1, but no, we played a backup quarterback week 6.
Yeah.
So that's why we haven't beaten anybody next to no, but we're still good enough to make the playoffs. But they're on that fringe between playoffs and Super Bowl. If we beat somebody that's really, really good, who has a really, really good team, we could be Super Bowl contenders.
Yeah.
It's like we're just not there yet because we haven't beat anybody to know.
Right.
Because we talked about the Giants too, which is the only, I think Giants for me, anyways, is our biggest test when it comes to out of the teams that we played so far, because we knew the Green Bay is completely ass. We know Indy sucks. I mean, good Lord. And we got Pittsburgh and they suck. I mean,
We got the Saints and they suck.
Let's just keep losing until we have the number 2 overall pick.
Oh my God.
That would be fucking.
We might get Kamara, bro. There's rumors that we might get Kamara.
Yeah, we did talk about.
I hope we do. I was sitting here early in the stream like, Kamara, come to Philly. Come to Philly.
Yeah. Because, I mean, then again, though, actually, that really does make sense, though. Because, I mean, having Kenny Gainwell, Miles Sanders, and Alvin Kamara, good God.
Oh, my God, those 3. Because Boston Scott hasn't done anything to note this year.
Yeah,
well, he was injured for like 2 weeks, right? 2 or 3.
I think 2 or 3
Yeah,
weeks.
but then he had that game where he started. He had like 1 snap and for like 2 yards. Didn't get anywhere with it.
Yes. Surprising the Raiders, I agree with that 1,000%.
Yeah, they were supposed. They were with that roster. They're supposed to be contenders.
The record should have been says otherwise, but like we said, the only issue is Josh McDaniels is what's holding them back.
No, would you put the Colts as surprising or no?
I would say, I mean, the way everything has gone with the Colts, they're for me it's a below average team. Even though they're 3-3-1, with Matt Ryan being benched for Sam Ehlinger, and the way that the just offense has really not got nothing going, I can't see that.
I mean, when you get rid of Carson Wentz to get a quarterback past his prime, it's not really surprising that they'll be terrible.
Right.
So I kind of.
And then I could say the Packers are surprising to an extent, because how bad Aaron Rodgers has been playing.
You can make a case for that. You can make a case for that.
They're surprising, but they're still below average in the NFC.
Oh my God! Yes. They lost 3 in a row.
And I talked to Tyler. Tyler talked about this too. Like, you had the Vikings fans laughing at you, you had the Bears fans laughing at you for sucking, and even the Detroit Lions, even though they're the one team in the tank bowl.
The tank bowl, that's hilarious. But
I mean,
the
it's
Broncos,
just
yes. Panthers, hell yeah, like that's automatic. Texans, yes and no, because they're still able to compete, but they're still down there, so I'll let that slide. Yeah.
Yeah, because like you can make the argument that are so below average and they can still be in the and I agree with Mitch with that one, because it's like you can still make a case for the Texans. I mean, I feel like they have a good defense, but their offense just isn't there yet. I mean, Davis Mills, it has to go. I mean, he's not really showing to be, with that what his rookie year showed. So I mean, we'll see, because I still think I mean, it's crazy too. The fact we're going to be a playoff team, we have a very high first round draft pick. So thank you, New Orleans, for that.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, right now, Howie Roseman is a trade god. I don't care what anybody says.
That's just incredible what Howie Roseman has been doing. And
I mean, that's
like, do you apologize for everything he has done? Like,
trust me, I apologize.
Oh, we've already apologized last year.
I don't. Nope. No. With Whiteside and Rager, I'm sorry. No, I can't go that far.
Right.
If we win a ring this year, then yes.
I mean,
if we win a ring this year,
shit. I mean, we got the talent to do so, but the only issue is Gannon at times.
If Gannon can stop letting up on the foot on the gas pedal in the second half, would be good. But also the problem is what can he do with an offense that is also stagnant in the second half, which causes the defense to get gassed?
Yep.
Yeah, that is true.
Can't do much with that, even if he was playing aggressive, look conservative.
And even because me and Tyler talked about the Falcons. Yes, they're 3-4, but despite the fact they got their ass beat by the Bengals, but nobody. I expect this team to be like very sub 500, but apparently not. According to how Marcus Mariota's playing, even though he's for me, I think he's still a first round bust, but I mean, he's still playing some surprisingly good football.
Yep.
I mean, you still got Tyler Algier. He's still a decent player. I mean, him and Hunt, Caleb Hunt, really stepping up without. I mean, obviously in the place of Cordell Patterson, which kind of hurts them a little bit in that running game, but and that's where my issue lies too. At the time, is we've seen teams like, I mean, let's see, I'm trying to think of a perfect example of a team that's. I don't know. Maybe the Jags. You can make the argument that at times they do abandon the running game to some extent, but
Right.
I mean, now who's the running back to now? You got rid of James Robinson to the Jets. And if he balls out, that's something. Oh, good lord, that's gonna look bad.
Oh, that's just hilarious. That's just freaking hilarious. Isn't he like one of their best players? Wasn't he like
I think he's their second best running back behind Travis Etienne.
Yeah, and I have him in fantasy.
So do
Hopefully
I.
that helps. Hopefully that helps.
But it's just like I said, the Chargers are a playoff contender. The only issue I have with the Chargers is Brandon Staley's play, at times his over aggressiveness. We saw that last year and how much that cost the Chargers into the playoffs.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the issue. Now, Dallas and me and Tyler broke down Dallas. Kind of put the bias out the window, but we knew where some of the problems lie with Dallas when they reached the postseason. Eamon Arcui was in here earlier, and he said, "And yeah, they play scared. You should not really do that. It's I don't know. Baltimore, I kind of said my piece on it. It's their fourth quarter. It's the second half, because their second half is I would say one of the worst out of the 32 NFL teams, because like the fact that you almost choked to the Browns. I don't know how's that fucking possible. I mean,
Bruh.
god damn.
All right.
But
For me, I got to talk about the Bengals. I agree they're a playoff thing, but the offensive line still scares the hell out of me.
that's
What scares us, man.
That's why we're told they're the French team
Yeah.
because of that.
Right. And yeah, that was just perfect. Giant.
God,
I
it's
can't
great.
believe the Giants are 6-1. I was with
I
them for
can't
3
either.
hours.
I can't either, man.
It's just like 3 out of the 4. Who would have thought the NFC East would be one of the best divisions in football?
Who knew
Yeah.
that the AFC West would be the worst division in football?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, technically third worst, because I mean AFC South is still the worst.
We expected polar opposites.
Well,
we expected the AFC
it
West.
from the South. We didn't
We
expect it from the West.
Or the
We
NFC.
expected the AFC West to be one of the most dominant divisions, but it ended up being the NFC East.
Wait,
What?
whoa. Niners and below average after they got McCaffrey?
Yeah, they are. They're still. Yeah, they got McCaffrey. So what? If he's hurt,
Yeah, you're screwed at times.
screwed.
But even though you
And-
do have
and
Debo, though, I
team-
mean,
but still, I don't. They still.
for me, it's
haven't won
Kyle
with
Shanahan.
defense.
Is for me is what's
Yeah,
concerning.
It's Shanahan.
Shanahan is too goddamn conservative at times, and it hurts the 49ers. And Jimmy G, he's good, but he's not great. He's like that,
Yeah.
and he's in the Kirk Cousins type of quarterback tier. He's
Yeah.
mid. He's a mid-level quarterback. But I mean, if you look at it, I mean, look, Brandon Ayuk is still a good receiver. I mean, you got George Kittle, still one of the best tight ends of the game. But it's just, I don't know. I don't really see enough to work because the NFC West is not that great either. I mean, it's an open division. The only team that I feel like has played much better football out of that division is Seattle, which is shocking to the fact that you had Geno Smith playing like an MVP level quarterback. I mean, Tyler just like we're just shaking our heads like there's no goddamn way we're looking at this.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, who's to say? I mean, if they play well in this in the second half, that might change my mind
Hey, I'll be right back.
on the 49ers. But I think everything else, though, I mean, not too shabby, I would say, to say the least. I mean, who is to say? I mean, I don't know, but it's just crazy enough as it seems to the point where you would have, I don't know, like it's weird to see like teams like they're surprising, and like the Falcons, the Jets, the Seahawks, and the Titans. The Raiders should, and I'm seeing with Mitch being here, the Raiders should have been a lot better than what the record says they are. But like I said, I mean, we had a couple of Raiders fans in here in the chat. Is Josh McDaniels? The number says otherwise. That as a head coach, he's 11-25 as a head coach. I can see, and you can see why he's more of an offensive coordinator than anything else. Yeah,
they need to cut their losses with Josh McDaniel. I'm just saying right now, they need to cut their losses with this guy. He is absolute dog water as a head coach.
I'm surprised even
says. Honestly, I tried to give him a fair chance when they did hire him. Like, okay, whatever. But now it's like, I hope no one else hires him ever again.
If they need an offensive coordinator, you could hire him for that position.
You can hire him for offensive coordinator, and it wouldn't be a bad move because he's a good offensive coordinator, but a bad coach. I don't know why, because he's calling plays on the offensive side of the ball, and
it's crazy.
And it's still not working for him. I don't know, dude. I don't know.
So far though, man, it's just like with the with some weak teams entering week 8. Who knows? We might come back to this again and might change it up a bit. Go try to do it week by week.
I feel like we need to come back to this a bit later in the season, like probably end of the season,
like end of the year kind of thing.
Yeah, like right at the end of the season, we should do it.
That's good enough for me because I feel because a lot of teams might be surprising, or because I mean the only feel like the two teams that are definitely going to stay up top is the Bills and Chiefs. I know Mitch, but you and I know Mitch better than anybody. He has the Bills as a Super Bowl pick.
I had them last year too. I was so close. I was close.
Right, close. I mean, shit. I mean, they and KC know how to put on a good postseason game. That's for sure in football.
Yeah.
Like. And we also said too that we know that the Patriots are below average because the fact that they lost to the Bears is funny because of like the fact that who would have thought Bill Belichick
it wasn't the fact they lost, it was how much they lost by. That's hilarious.
It was, and the fact that we also heard that Bill Belichick never had a game plan against the Bears.
He hasn't had a game plan all season. He looked like a headless chicken out there.
I even told Gulu, and when me and Gulu were on the stream together, I told him the lifetime numbers. They're 5-10. They're 5-10 against the Patriots all time. Because the only time they actually beat the Patriots so badly was back in 1986 during their Super Bowl run when they won the Super Bowl 20. I think
1985, the 85 Bears.
Yeah, and they won like 43-10 at the Super Bowl. It's like, good god damn.
That whole team was stacked in 85. They had a defense, had an offense, had a quarterback. They had a team. And now they don't even have a team.
Even Cooley said this too. When 86 came around, that's when Virginia McCaskey took ownership, and that's when everything went to hell ever since.
Yeah.
God, I couldn't imagine though, like not having a championship for the last 3 decades. That's embarrassing. But I mean, look, the Chicago Bears.
You haven't had a team since '85. That's the problem.
And you hadn't had a good season since like 2018.
2018 was like that was like a fluke. That was like a fluky.
That was kind of like a
playoff appearance.
Yeah. But it's just looking at this team or the way the Bears are at. I mean, damn. I mean, look, I know the record says otherwise, but they've been playing some decent football as at least recently, despite having a bad O-line. Darnell Mooney's good Lord. I mean, you got Darnell Mooney, who pretty much their top guy when it comes to the receiving core. Now you don't have Robert Quinn, so thank you, Chicago, for that, for a 4th-round pick. Not to mention, too, I mean, Chicago, and even Gould said Chicago's got to get to work because in the all-season, because we know that they're not contending anytime soon.
Yeah.
Because you have, over $100 million, going to be over $100 million in cap space, And like I say, if you don't spend any of any of that 100 million, you are fucked. And
Yes, or
and because for me, I was if I'm Ryan Poles, invest that in an offensive line. For the love of God, I'm really starting to feel bad for Justin Fields. I really do. He's getting like the Russell Wilson treatment when in Seattle, basically. When Seattle didn't ever had an O line and Russell Wilson was just running for his goddamn life. But yeah.
Yeah. And it's still funny how the Commanders are where they are, and even though Carson Wentz is their quarterback. It's hilarious.
It is hilarious. I mean,
here's the thing, though. Carson Wentz is a joke of a quarterback. So, yeah.
I mean, even Tyler said he's just a 1 year. He's a 1 year wonder.
He's actually just a 2-year wonder because he had a good 2016 too.
Even though the Eagles at the time weren't really good in 2016 during his rookie year.
Yeah,
but we're talking about individual stuff, not team.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. But now, yeah. So with that, because right now we're on the back end, that's like me and Tyler said, we're gonna do this again for the end of the year, and see where teams are, how they finish because right now this is basically the mid-season portion of this rankings. Yeah, everybody's in the chat. Mitch, I know you. Do you agree or disagree? If any,
I agree with everything. I'm good with it. No,
Tyler,
I don't think
anything?
the Cowboys should be a tank bowl, but
I don't have anything else to say. What we ranked was where we wanted it, so what our opinions lie.
So Flan said he's picking the Bucks. We'll see how that goes Thursday Night Football.
Yeah, we'll see where that goes tonight. So
I did pick the Ravens over the Bucks.
Yeah, so did I.
The way the Bucks look, I really don't think the Bucks.
I don't think the Ravens. I'll say this too: if the Ravens somehow choke against the Bucks, and I'm calling that something's got to be called into question because that should not happen. But
you're doing a game tonight or no?
I am on my own channel, just on my channel.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine. I thought I knew you were going to do the game tonight.
Yeah, because I think Jeff also doing it as well, if I'm not mistaken, too.
I think that's Sunday night.
Or Sunday night. I don't know if you want to have the Thursday Night Football on the network. I can do that if you want me to add.
Make sure, because you know me, how stupid I can be. So let me go through because I'm really stupid right now.
Well, aren't we all stupid? Well, that makes us
stupid. Come on, man. I make 69 jokes.
Yeah, it's true.
Listen, nobody hates a 69 joke here and there. It's all good.
It depends on how much you do. Yeah, it's only you. It's only you that's doing it. So you can do whenever on the network, on yours, doesn't matter.
Because I can add it to the network if that works. Because
if you want to do it, go for it. That's up to you.
And think of this too, Mitch. If anybody else needs thumbnails made, I can do that too. So we have you and me can do the thumbnails.
You know how much the only people I make thumbnails for now, the only people are Earl and Jeff. That's it.
I can do that. I mean,
yeah,
but yeah,
better at it.
But other than that, though, so that's gonna do it. Let me take this off. Great. There it is. Take that off screen. But yeah, so I mean, it's been so far been very interesting to kind of talk about where these teams are going into week 8.
Tomorrow night, 7:30, 8 o'clock. I forgot what time the game starts. Game 1 of the World Series, baby.
But Nola gets game 1.
Yo, that better be a dub. That better be a dub, I swear.
Aaron Nola against Justin Verlander?
Yep.
Yeah.
Dude, that's insane. I'm ready. I'm actually going out to dinner with a friend of mine for the game. So it's not going to be home.
But yeah, I mean, so far though, yeah, like I said, I mean, with everything we have done, me, Tyler, and obviously Mitch came at the last minute and kind of showed where more of these teams are going into week 8. Yeah, and then you'll see this again at the end of the year. I'm going to be calling game 4 with Philly halftime.
Yes. Halftime's going to be on that. I mean, halftime is doing the game tomorrow. He's doing every other game. He's doing every game. So he loves
Okay.
doing it. So
I mean, shit. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's really fun to really show. Must be real. Been a long time coming for this shit.
bro, I'm just happy that Blake is on our group chat because if we win, oh my god, that's going to be insane.
That
He's
is
a great-
If we
he's a
win,
great
if we win this series, I expect a whole barrage of messages.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's a Braves fan. So, but if that we beat him,
well, and that's just that too. It's just like looking at this entirety. Like I said, I mean, I'm excited, and like I said, and shout out to everybody at the Hardcore Sports for actually getting this opportunity to really, really take
bro,
this opportunity.
you're my best friend for over a year. Are
It's
you
crazy.
kidding me?
And like I said, but other than that, though, like I said, I mean, it's crazy enough how quick the NFL season's starting to come and go. Because we're at the halfway point. Which, yeah, I mean, like I said, Thursday Night Football, we got the Ravens. Holy crap! Wrong team.
You had a brain fart.
I had a Mitch brain fart. I had a brain fart. Right?
Hey, I heard that.
Hey, you have brain farts too, man. Don't we all? But the Ravens and the Bucks. I don't know why I said Braves for some reason, because
Yes, Rob. They renamed their team the Baltimore Braves.
But yeah, we're gonna have to see how.
That would be hilarious. Can you imagine Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Braves quarterback Lamar Jackson?
But yeah, I mean, and look at it. Go back to our pickups, though. I mean, if and I will say, I know this may not be sound realistic, but if the Bears somehow pull off a win over the Cowboys, I'm going to laugh my fucking ass off. I'm going to laugh it.
You did it again. You did it again, Rob.
Wait, what did I do?
You almost hit the
Cowboys.
Braves.
Oh shit, I did. Sorry, I mean, I'm having.
You're like the Cowboys.
Anyways.
But yeah, like I said, I mean, if the Cowboys somehow drop their game against the Bears, like I said, we're all gonna laugh. We're gonna definitely knowing Mitch, I know he's definitely I would say troll Cole, that's for sure. And boys, Cole's Cowboys.
Oh, Boys for Life? Are you kidding me? Boys for Life kicked me off his stream when when the Eagles were playing the Cowboys. He kicked me off. After the 4th and 1, they didn't get it, and they're like, Mitch, you got to bounce.
But other than that, though, I mean, like I said, appreciate Mitch coming on at the last minute, so kind of catch him up to speed where the teams rank going into Week 8. Yes, I know we have seen teams, it's like kind of up and down, basically our own version of power rankings of where each team sits, because we don't know the top two teams that are huge Super Bowl contenders is the Chiefs and the Bills. But but it's just we'll see how that goes. But with that being said, though, appreciate Mitch coming on. Shout out to everybody at the Hardcore Sports Network. With that being said, we'll see you guys on the next one.
Peace.